Twitter, Fencer, Princer, SoundCloud, SoundClick. Okay, so I'm going to give my fourth edition of the Holy Wars, and once again, I am not a historian. This is just saying what I've pretty much learned, and some of it can be, polished off because I'm just going off of memory. I don't have the history books in front of me, and some of this I've learned years ago. Okay, so I think I ended off with talking about the Ascasians, who were the Jewish people. Those are Jewish people today. And I was talking about the Roman Empire in 70 AD and how the Jews, the black Jews, were kicked out of their homeland of Jerusalem. And they crossed the Red Sea. Then they were in captivity by the Africans, who were Egyptians, tall, dark skinned people. And then they were sold into slavery off of the Ivory Coast, and then they came over here, and we are still slaves today. So, and I also said how the more things change, the more things stay the same. So, okay, so the reason why I said that is because the Jews and the Romans are still fighting. Why are we in the Middle East? The Romans are also still, that's what they do. They conquer. You gotta understand, there were two empires of the Romans, dude. One of them, one of them went down because, for one of the Roman empires went down because it was eaten away by its own undoing. One, the Roman emperors, they were just terrible people. I mean, all the Usses. I don't know how many Usses there were, but we'll just call them Caesars, and they had all kind of funny names. But Caesar Augustus, and a lot of them were just terrible people because they believed that they were the sons of God, and this made them all powerful, so they can do anything. Well, they made the mistake of, one, spreading too thin, which we are doing now. The Roman Empire is still doing the same thing. They spread too thin. They were the third largest empire. They were the third largest empire. So what they did was they tried to conquer all, pretty much conquer the world. And so they pretty much tried to conquer the world. So basically, they're doing the same thing now. So when they did that, they spread too thin. So when they spread too thin, you have to look at what happened to them. I'm sorry, I lost my train of thought. Okay, so the Roman Empire, for one, when they fought against the Britons, they fought against Boudica, and, and Boudica basically was avenging her father, and basically those were the Britons. Yeah, those were the Britons, and basically what they did was they making a video talk about the Bible. Yeah. So basically what they did was they came into the Eastern, I believe it was the Eastern Empire. They came into the Eastern Empire, and they came in and conquered the Eastern Empire. But you gotta understand, the Eastern Empire was already weakened by its own undoing. I'm sorry, I'm kind of, but the Eastern Empire was already weakened by its own undoing. One, the people. You got to understand what they were doing for one, what they were doing to the Christian people themselves, those who decided that they wanted to follow Christ, or to be Christ-like. For one, they were burning and they were killing the Christians in just horrible, horrifying ways. They were doing this because they said, because the Christians were going, Jesus Christ is Lord, Jesus Christ is King. So that is a phrase that will get your head cut off if you're a Roman citizen. And you got to understand, Roman citizenship wasn't just a bunch of white people. Paul was a Roman citizen, but he was a black man. Paul the disciple was a black man. He was from the tribe of Benjamin. He was one of the 12 tribes. He was a Roman citizen. He got his head cut off. Okay, when he died. I don't know if the book is still out there, but read a book called The Last Book of Martyrs. It shows how all of the disciples were killed. Peter was hung upside down, so on and so forth, but they were killed, they were tarred and feathered, they were killed in very, very heinous ways. But if you were a Roman citizen, you got your head straight cut off, and that was it. You cannot claim that someone else is God or king. Because of, like I said, they believed that Caesar was not only king, but Caesar was God. So I think it's heresy. Uh, Nonetheless, uh, yeah, I think it's heresy. I forgot what the crime is called, but nonetheless, like I said, you guys can help me out. This is an open forum. I'm fine with that. Okay, so so before they were invaded in the east, because they spread themselves too thin, and like I said, they went into Britain, and then Boudica came, and then she avenged her father. Was it her father she avenged? It was her father or husband, or I think both. But nonetheless, but so what happened was, before that even happened, the people themselves, even the soldiers, even the military, you gotta understand, most of the time the military was not even in Rome. So Rome was ran by Caesar and the politicians. You understand that? So you got to understand, some of those Caesar, I don't know which one it was, but he actually set Rome on fire. Like these Caesars were ridiculous. Now, like I said, I don't remember the names, but they were just ridiculous. One of them uh, uh, used to like bathe with a bunch of children. Like bathe naked with a bunch of children and have them flock around him with a bunch of naked kids flocking around him and sleeping with horses. And then they would some of the Roman soldiers, the leaders, the captains and generals, they would get married. Then Caesar would go ahead and screw the he would screw their virgin wife right in front of him, and sometimes screw them. Like it was so they were so messed up, and they would. They were killing each other. I mean, beware the eyes of March. They were killing each other. So the whole organization was falling apart from the inside. And this is the same thing that actually happened between the Spaniards and the Incans. When the Spaniards came to them, their empire was already falling apart from the inside. And once well, I'll talk about the Spaniards later, but because that is a really good story. But nonetheless, so they were falling apart from the inside, and so once they got attacked, it was just not hard to defeat them. Now the Roman army is doing the same thing today. We are under the thumb of the Roman army. You got to understand that we're going in lands that we shouldn't be. We're still fighting the Jews. We're still fighting. Well, as far as the Roman army, they're still fighting the Jews. Uh, or keeping us under slavery because the black Jews, and they're still fighting against the Muslims. They're still fighting the holy war against the Muslims, and that's who you have over there in the Middle East. Those are the children of Muhammad, as far as the children as in belief. Those are the children of Muhammad. So they want to call them terrorists and all that, but those are the children of Muhammad. So you still have the American soldiers in the how you doing? You still have the American soldiers who are in the Middle East. You gotta understand, Middle East is most of the religion over there is a Muslim religion. Those are the people of Muhammad. That's the same war that's been fought thousands and thousands and thousands of years ago. That is Saladin's army. It's the same thing King Richard the Lionheart was fighting. You gotta understand, this America is not ran by the American president. He's just a figurehead. America, America is ran by America is not ran by the American president. America is ran by the by the Jewish people. So, who are the Ascasians? Who are a war-like race? This is why there's always war. There's always war. We've been at war for 235 years. It's just war, 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 and constant war. And we're going to always be at war as long as those warmongers are in charge. They're the ones who are doing all this killing. This is why shooting of black people, it's just not going to stop because of who is in charge. It's not going to stop until Christ comes back. We can have all the conversations we want. It's not going to stop. Okay, let's see, I'm at 9 minutes. Okay, what else did I want to talk about? Okay, I'm gonna end it for right now until I get some more of my material together. It's your boy Tone 202. This is an open forum. You guys can feel free to comment and give me more information. And yeah, we'll take it from there. Don't forget to check out my album just right there on Google and Spotify. Peace.